Alrighty, hey there everyone. We're back yet again with some more hardcore Minecraft. Last time we redid the entire storage room. This time we are going to finish redoing the entire storage room, and hopefully things will be a little bit nicer. Put the music back on, maybe turn on some settings, some stuff just to see kind of what happens, but we will see what happens with all that. And I wonder, I should probably change a couple of these. Like local difficulty, I don't really need always, right? Section is like chunk position, so I do need that. Yeah, we'll go with that. Why not? I don't need TPS or anything as far as I can tell. Light levels, I do need. Dang, and that's with everything pretty much disabled there. Maybe the section coordinates are something else I can disable. FPS I want to keep. Um, let's see here. Yeah, no, player position is gonna just have like a bunch of stuff tied to it. And then section relative is like the shortened bit that I would personally want, but can't have, so that's not cool. That's lame. I wish you could use, or not use, I wish you could move like the music toast, I think that's what it was called, to be in a different corner. That would be kind of nice. Um, Somehow I doubt that is something I will be able to do. Well, oh well, we'll see. Yep, here we are. We're back. We still have some more work to do, and we still need to switch that out with class, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. But yeah, today main goal, try and get the entire storage system fully done. At least that's what I'd like to imagine. That's what I want to do. Kind of see what we did last time, right? We went ahead and reorganized everything. We got all the correct item frames for all the different items. At least pattern-wise, we're doing pretty good. And really, we're just trying to get all this stuff figured out. And it does seem like it has helped out with lag, for what it's worth. So, yeah, not too bad. But we still have more work to do, of course, so we have got to build out another couple of layers on everything, and we'll just kind of see what happens. So, alright, let's see here. We need some more barrels. Here we are. We'll get 2 stacks of barrels. And we need some more cobblestone. We need more cobblestone. 4 stacks would be plenty. Oh, well. Right. 3 stacks it is. Alright. So, for something like this, we want to have everything line up like so. Okay, we'll keep our lighting in here too. Yeah, there we go. Of course, we'll have to come back through some scaffolding, but, we'll get to that when we get to that. Not gonna worry about it. Here we go. Alright. I have no idea, but apparently cats can start to spawn because we built up too high. Super weird. Kind of interesting though, but kind of odd. I'm sure it'll be fine. Anyways, let's go ahead and keep getting all this filled in. pretty easy. Yep, it's same old today, you know. Still waiting for that job interview on Monday, which is some good stuff. Once that goes through, that should pretty much be good. And things will be nice. So, yeah, looking forward to it. Be changing yet again. And you know, we're just gonna put all that there. And that's another quarter done. So yeah, once we get some more scaffolding, we can have the rest going to there. Looks like I have some weird extra stuff I never put away in the wood section, so let's see if I can do that now. Well, that is spruce wood there, isn't it? Yeah, alrighty. That goes away in there. I had spruce planks, didn't I? I did. Surprised I didn't get that in there somehow. Weird. Well, they're there, so okay. Alright, and then oak fence gate. Last one. So this just ends up being a much better way of organizing things. You know, things are grouped together in nice little groups of 4, ways that make sense. And then we can physically see what type of wood it is based on the log and all that kind of good stuff, so it's a lot easier to see what's happening. So I think it's a pretty good system overall. It's always room for improvement with these kinds of things, though, so nothing's ever truly set in stone. But for the most part, I'd say it's pretty freaking good, right? So, nice stuff. Anyways, we've got more barrels we gotta put down. Got to get all this going again. Alright, this should be good. Go. Trying to think too what else I really want to do today. Because we do have a lot of different projects that need to be worked on. Well, saying that they need to be worked on is a little not true, frankly. But you know, they would be nice to be worked on, right? So things like the Guardian Farm or moving in those villagers and stuff so we could complete that part of the trading hall. Stuff like that would be kind of nice, you know? So that's kind of, I guess, our next goal. It's just picking something and trying to at least get the material for it. I think that'd be a good idea. We've actually emptied out yet another shulker box. So we've used an entire shulker box worth of barrels, or rather we're going to, on this whole storage system. So quite a lot of stuff. And we still will have an entire shulker left to use. Which is kind of nuts. I don't think I'll use that much though. But, you know, it's nice that we have the option, right? So, good stuff. Go. Right. And we have one more quarter here that we get to go do. If we can parkour over to it. No, we can't. That's okay. Maybe one day. Alright. That's not good. I have not had anything spawn in here in a very long time. do something about that real quick. I guess it was bound to happen with how little we were lighting up these top bits, but you know, it's okay. It's a pretty quick and easy fix. I mean, time it's taken me to say all that, we've already fixed it, so not bad. Just not normal. We're gonna need to dip into that barrel box again. Good cobblestone. Perfect. The whole thing is fully built out now, so good stuff. Just got to place in the rest of the barrels and we will be good to go. There we go. And I don't think I really want to build a layer above this, even though we do physically have the space and material for it, because I kind of want to leave a decent little bit of empty space for a larger room, because I think it'd be cool, you know? So we'll just kind of see what happens. Be interesting because we don't actually need to worry about the glass anymore, since obviously the actual storage room is blocking all that stuff up. So we can replace all the glass with moss and kind of redo all that stuff if we really want to. So that could be nice. But let's not worry about that for right now. Instead, let's go ahead and get ourselves some scaffolding. Here we go. Nice easy box of scaffolding. Put that back away. Get that there. And we'll take that. And there we go. Ooh. Of course, we'll do a little bit more lighting there. And, you know, we'll have it end at like, we'll have it end like at that other section. Just that way it's not going to the absolute tippy top. Yeah, we do have another section to go. Perfect. That should bring us up here, which is the actual top. Yep. Cool. I think it could also be interesting to have like doors or gates or something on like those top like bits. So that way we have easy access into the storage room with like elytra. Because the annoying thing that I've been finding, right, is like to actually get into here, we have to go all the way up above and through, and then get to there, and then come down one of the water elevators, and then get into here, and then we're in the storage room. When in reality, we could just like not do that. 'Cause that would be kind of nice, wouldn't it? So yeah, we'll see if and how that actually works, but I don't know. I think it would be kind of a nice change of pace there. So also that is as high as that goes. Okay, that's fine. Oh, and then this is expanded out slightly because of the wood. So uh, mirror that at some point, but that's more of a unique circumstance with the wood stuff since all that was pretty well established early. So we're not going to really change anything yet. Oh, how did I forget to put these in place? I don't know, but let's go ahead and fix that real quick. Should be pretty easy. Just got to put in a nice little set of barrels. There we go. And boom, done. Alrighty. And of course, we'll put in another torch there. Alright, there we go. So, something like that ought to get us what we want. And again, we're kind of just matching it up with what we have here. So you can see with like the polished basalt, right? And like the smooth basalt, we're basically just matching that curve and we're building out some floors with all that kind of stuff. Now maybe we'll have some interconnected bits, but otherwise it should be pretty simple and straightforward on a lot of this. FPS seems to be doing pretty well too now. We have a decent chunk of item frames in view and it doesn't seem to be lagging pretty much at all. Now, granted, for what it's worth, we did tone down our render distance and our simulation distance. So that's probably going to be part of it. And we'll go down to a 16 there, we'll go to a 24 there. And, I mean, you know, we can change some of this stuff, but otherwise doesn't really matter too much. There we go. Be a little laggy as things load back in, but, you know, once it passes, we'll see if we can stay at 60 FPS. I really ought to do modded stuff. You know, that would actually be legitimately useful, but obviously that's not going to happen. Or not concrete, terracotta is the next batch of items that we're going to have to do since we've already got concrete, and then we would have our additional colored stuff up at the very top that we don't particularly care about. Yeah, we can finally take away all of this extra scaffolding. And we'll even take away all of these too. I think we're overdue all this stuff. So let's just go ahead and get all this cut down. And there we go. Nice. Into an ender chest. This away. We'll just kind of let the rest despawn and then we'll come back and clean up some of this extra stuff later. But for right now, we're just mainly focused on, you know, having all this get cleared out and just having the space for it, right? So, good stuff. Of course, we will eventually need to do the backing on all of this, but it's not a requirement at this time. Although, for what it's worth, we could actually afford to take some extra cobblestone and just kind of, you know, get all this cleaned up. There we go. Wow, that hurts more than I thought. Go. We're gonna have to do this on all four sides if we really want to do it all. That's fine. I mean, hell, we don't even really have to, frankly, but we may as well. We're already here, you know? Oh, I thought for sure I could reach that. I guess we can leave a little scaffolding. Just for right now. had I crouched, I could have probably scaffolded and clutched. Oh, maybe. I don't know if I could have, but man can dream, right? Alrighty, we still have a little bit more to do. We got this one last side left. Be pretty easy, luckily. Ooh, there we go. So there's not really a benefit to doing that. I mean, it looks a little nicer if I do it like that, because then we don't see like the sides of the barrels exposed, but it's not really a requirement, you know? And well, that's okay. There doesn't need to be a reason to do anything all the time, you know? Sometimes you just do things for the sake of doing things, and that's fine. Alright, well, either way, got all this cleaned up now. Still got a couple of extra bits that we still gotta work around, but for the most part, we are sitting pretty here. So now it turns into how do we stretch all of these out in a way that makes sense, right? Um, I think I will end up using glass, but basically we're gonna use 4 types of colored glass, or 4 blocks of colored glass of each color, and we're gonna go ahead and place everything. Let's just go ahead and get started with it. Five there. There we go. Alright, let's just keep it simple for right now. Let's go with this. So it's white, then light gray, then regular gray. Go. And yeah, you can kind of see the idea here. So not only do we have the color to match, but then we've also can physically see down into it, because I think it would be kind of cool. And otherwise, we just got to do the same thing for all the other colors. After we get some glass, I guess, but we should have a little bit laying around. There we go. Alright, yep. I know what we want to do, but we're gonna be here a little bit doing all this stuff, so. Could take that long, though. That. I think we should also put some of this stuff down, just so that way we've got it out of our inventory. Just for right now. No sense in keeping it on us, right? There we go. Alright, so we made it to yellow. There we go. Had a feeling that was gonna happen. Oh dang. I guess that's the only annoying part is we can see the cobblestone there, but that could be an interesting time for us to use wool or concrete or something to have additional colored backing, so that way it's super apparent what color is what. So we'll see. Or I could just keep it simple and just do a bunch of lighting. Who knows? It's not really too important, so we'll be okay. Wow, we have no lime dye at freaking all, dude. Damn. Alright, well we've got a tiny little bit of green dye, I guess, but damn, that's gonna be kind of... I think luckily we only really need to make the one, because then we get two out of it, yeah. Okay, so that should be fine. Put one away in there. Let's put this away. So, lime stained glass and green stained glass. There's lime, there's green. There's green, and then cyan. We need a little bit more of too. What am I doing? That's not supposed to go in there. It's supposed to go right up in there. There we go. Right. I'll have to do something with those later. And then a late blue. There we go. So it goes lime, green, cyan, a light blue. And then that's what we want. Okay. Again, sorry this is a little slow, but hey, you know, not exactly in a rush today to do anything, so that'll be fine. And all we gotta do is get out of here. Lime, green, cyan, light blue. And we're not gonna do anything similar with like endstone or skulk or anything like that. Just as a heads up. Although we are probably gonna redo some of the skulk organization. The reason I mention that is I don't know if any of you have seen the Dungeons 2 information regarding that fourth dimension, but long story short, it definitely is going to be a skulk dimension, and it looks like some kind of a live skulk, so imagine like this is dead and dried out, and then you have some alive, kind of like red and green kind of skulk kind of deal, where it's almost like a fucked up version of Dirt, just a sick, you know, twisted peek into my mind. But no, in all seriousness though, it's kind of interesting. So far as I'm concerned personally, that's good enough confirmation for me to be like, okay, well, it's gonna happen. It's not gonna happen particularly soon, but it will definitely happen. And when it does, we want to make sure that we have adequate space for a lot of those sculk related bits, right? Because as soon as you don't, you are gonna run into issues that could have been prevented, but you know, you didn't because it's like, oh, no, we're not gonna have that, and we are. So I'm kind of rambling here a bit, but big picture, we really ought to plan ahead pretty well for new sculk stuff because it's gonna happen. It's really not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So it's kind of the big thing. We also need some lilac and peony for some magenta and other dye. But we'll see. I think peonies give you the other kind of dye, right? Where, you know I can't think that fast. No, I'm barely even thinking slow today. But yeah, new sculk stuff is gonna happen. Let's see here, magenta, pink dye, what a little bit for all the different stuff. There we go. And we need 8 more glass. Oh, not that it really matters, but magenta stained glass, pink stained glass. Tuck the rest of the glass away. And then I think it goes, I think it's magenta, right? Isn't that? Yes. Okay. So it goes magenta, then it goes pink. There's our magenta, there's our pink, and there we go. That is very skibbity. Good point. Yep, just doing a little organizing here. Go. We are almost done finally with getting all this in place. Storage area is looking a lot better already. Even with just simple little changes like adding color, you know. It's a nice thing to be able to do. And there we go. Okay. Oh, we've made every type of stained glass, which is good because we have the recipe for that. Not that we really need the recipe in the recipe book, but, you know, it's nice to see what dyes require what, just being able to see the colors on the map, right? Or something. But there we go. That is all of our colors in place. Looks nice, makes it very clear where things are supposed to go. Never mind all that. Let's pop back up here real quick. And at some point when we have the extra shelves, things will be a little bit better. But we're not there quite yet. We're actually going to take a small detour, and we're going to go ahead and get rid of all the glass that's up there. I think it's time for that. Very prideful design. Well, yeah, I mean, come on. How are we supposed to represent color? With, like, black and white? Come on. Be real. Let's see here. We're going to go ahead and carve out all of the glass. If it goes away and it despawns, I don't really care, but this glass doesn't really serve any good use anymore since, you know, kinda can't do anything with it, unfortunately. I think we'll leave the torches for last as additional lighting. Well, except for that one, because that one was more for the original beacon that was here a long, long time ago. Oh yeah, this glass was in a time where I thought that I was going to have skylight going all the way down. to bedrock, and that is true, but it's more true here specifically, where this goes all the way down to bedrock with like natural daylight. And I wanted more of the bottom of the world to have daylight, but it's just kind of not how things worked out. Also, oddly enough, I'm not hearing or seeing a lot of oh wait, no, I think I saw an iron golem start to die. Maybe? Am I still getting iron? I better be. I'm gonna assume these guys haven't slept. I have to be getting iron because I just saw that copper bulb go off. So that means it had to have been fed something for it to go off. Weird. Huh. Well, not much of my concern. We have plenty of iron as is, so it's best not to worry about it. But we will want to keep an eye out. I really should put in those chunk loaders at some point too, but maybe one day. Right. And it's definitely putting in the poppies, so leave that torch there. Covers all of that, so then this is where we need to start putting in all the lighting. Luckily, it shouldn't be too difficult to get all this to be replaced. We don't even really need to preserve the glass either. I mean, we can very easily just go get more, but for the sake of consistency, we're going to try and save all that best we can. And it's good to try not to be wasteful, you know? Not that you have to Scrooge over every single thing, but you shouldn't try to go out of your way to waste if you can help it. Alright, well, that gets all this converted back into moss as far as I can tell. Which is nice, you know? Good stuff. Definitely does make the ceiling a little bit darker, though. Like, actually, wow, that makes it a good bit more darker than I had anticipated, but we can rectify that over time, so nothing to really worry about. Just something we do have to fix at some point. I think we had some copper, yeah. Huh. We'll de-wax it, even though that doesn't really matter. Oh, excuse me. Fill that up, that's all good. We filled this up already. Oh, right. We can put this away finally. There we go. There's our extra glass that we have left over. Perfect. Okay, now, here's what I think we're gonna do. We're gonna move all of the sculk-related stuff up a layer, because I want to. And, yeah, we will kind of figure it out from there. We can still keep stuff there. That's lucky. Skulk, Skulk Bane, Skulk Catalyst, Skulk Sensor, Skulk Shrieker, and Echo Shard. Of course, we'll patch all that in. Still have to come back with some more item frames and try and fill out all this stuff the best we can. But for now, that's a good start, right? Some good stuff. And we'll go ahead and relocate all this stuff. There we go. Scope Bane, Scope Catalyst, Scope Sensor, Scope Shrieker, and Echo Shard. Okay, good stuff. So this is also where things are a little trickier because we have to account for like end stone bricks, stairs, slabs, and walls. So hang on, let me look up the family of blocks that we have. Okay, so we have end stone bricks, which can be turned into slabs, stairs, and walls, which is good. That's all they can be turned into. There's no cracked variant, which is good. I'm not gonna make it automatically sort because then that would be like way too much work. There could be a chance that I integrate copper golem somehow, but I highly doubt that. But I would rather have most of this be manual bulk storage because it's like one shulker box for each type of item. So things are grouped together in a ways that make sense for me as a person, right? And then once you kind of have that, things get a little bit easier. So maybe down the line I could, but I really don't see myself doing it like that. My other hardcore world, I had plans for it, but it just did not pan out that way, and it takes a lot of time and effort to make a storage system that big, you know. Also, it's very odd. We have purple blocks, slabs, and stairs, but no wall. Don't know why we don't have a purple wall, but sure, you know, why not? And then purple slabs can make pillars as well. And then that's the only type of block, so it is another set of four. So purple block, and go there. And the pillar will move there. Purple stairs go here. So I think I had it set up where I do stairs, slabs, and then like the wall, right? I'm pretty sure that's how I usually do these. I should be able to physically take a look at a lot of this stuff, yeah. So block, stairs, slab, and then wall or whatever. And it makes enough intuitive sense too, right? Because you're going from full, three quarters, half, nobody gives a shit. There you go. So, yep, good stuff. Makes enough sense to me. Stairs, eventual slab, and then pillar when we have that. That covers all of the endstone and purple related stuff. And then we have some extra goodies here, right? So we've got our chorus fruit, or excuse me, our chorus flower, our chorus fruit. Let's put the end rods down a little bit more. Can't rotate it while there's no item in it, right? Yeah, you can't. Okay. Wonder if they were gonna have a little bug like that or not. Okay, so good stuff. And frankly, that's really all there is to collect in the end, right? I mean, there's really not a whole lot else. So we'll have, in the case of an inevitable end update, we have a decent chunk of space to account for that kind of good stuff. Um, Maybe I put dragon heads here, as weird as that is. I think I have a random, yeah. Here, there's the dragon head. Fuck it, why not? There it goes. Should also put the dragon egg somewhere actually cool, and not just in a shulker box. That doesn't really make a lot of sense for it, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But otherwise, yeah, pretty good stuff. You can rotate it, huh? What do you know? Yeah, we've got, again, good space on everything, plenty of stuff for Skulk. It's organized in a way that makes sense to me and that I can see myself using, so that should be all good. Everything else is all physically built out. And then all this really turns into is theming, right? So we just basically need to match what we've got on all of these. We need to have good layers. Um, I've got some theming for certain things. So like valuable stuff, it's lined with like diamonds and like copper and iron because it looks kind of good. That's about as far as that goes realistically. And then maybe we can have kind of like a generic catch-all, but I don't even really know what I would want that to be either. The moss for like the more nature-oriented plantable things, you know. No idea what I want to put there, but eventually we'll put something there and we will just kind of figure it out. Um, Luckily, with all the extra space we have, that's going to be more for bulk things. So eventually, we're going to have extra stuff for like dirt and cobblestone and really like bulk materials. So it's good to have it, but yeah, I will probably have to put in some kind of like generic floors just for the sake of having something. So we'll see what ends up happening, but I don't know what that will be yet. Otherwise, maybe I could expand that out a little bit more. That checkerboard pattern, but not gonna worry about that. Maybe we want to redo the floors as a whole, you know? Maybe it's time to really just tear them down and just have something kind of cookie cutter in place for some of this stuff. Like the wood stuff makes sense. I don't necessarily want to take that down, but I don't know. I can probably do something a little bit better than checkerboard or like this kind of pattern. I don't particularly like, but it works better as a rug and not like as a floor. So I have to look at that. But for now, everything's in place. I don't really want to do too much more with storage right this second because I have done this for like 4 hours between yesterday and today, and I think we've had enough. We've had enough looking at it, you know. So I think it's okay for right now. Nope. Hold on. This time we're gonna get that glass put back into place. Can't believe I almost forgot again that I wanted to do this. Well, let's pop on up here. Of course, we've got another little section we can go through. Right. Basically, what we want to do up here is we want to place all of the glass panes, glass blocks, like so. And that also includes this very final one. Just so that way we can have that like that. And this has to be glass because this is how we can let the skylight down. But yeah, otherwise it leaves all this stuff up here and available, which is good. It's what we want. We'll throw this shit off a cliff. Nobody really cares about this stuff. It's 16 blocks of glass and some glass panes. Get that crap out of here. Alright. And we'll sleep because we haven't slept in weeks. And the phantoms are starting to get a little annoying, so, you know, gotta do something about that. But yeah, otherwise, we got that all taken care of. That's all good. Base is still doing good. Let's maybe get a little more food. Boop. There we go. Let's quit. And I guess let's see what else we want to do here today. We could go, you know what? I think that's what we are going to do. Hang on. We're going to go exploring out in the world. I want sponges. You know, I have no sponges at all. Why are these in here? Weird. Um, Anyways, like I was saying, I have no sponges at all. Like at all. And I think we're overdue for that. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go put these little planks away. Because I said so. Wow, I'm surprised I landed in that. I'm not gonna lie. Planks are down a layer. Right, okay. Yep, here we go. See that organization's kicking in already, right? But no, in all seriousness, we're gonna go get sponges. I haven't freaking gotten any like ever. I think we're overdue for it, and this will give us an excuse to go scout out and clear out a nice ocean monument that's kind of close to base, for our, our guardian farm. So yeah, hey, all works out in the end. Yeah, we'll just pop down here. Why not? Okay, so in terms of things I would want to bring with me, buckets of milk would be a good one. And I think I had a random shulker box that just had buckets in it that I can go snag. It's one of these. Here we go. We'll, yeah, we'll take this just as a whole. Nah, is what we're gonna do. These are going in there. These are coming with me. This is enough to fill up a whole shulker box, and then we have some cows in our whole face. Is there anything else I can think of that I would want to bring? Maybe we'll restock on like fireworks, I guess. But oh, we can do that thing with the slime blocks if we want like some or doors. Those are the big one. Oh, and actually, good thing we checked. We need to make more firework rockets before we head out. Let's actually let's calm down a second, not get too into it. Um, let's go get some paper, right? Should have plenty of that, or gunpowder, one or the other. Should have some extra gunpowder. Yeah. We need more gunpowder, you know, I haven't let enough of that stuff run for a hot minute. And because I haven't, maybe I have some leftover stuff. We'll just take the gunpowder and other bits and pieces out from our various farms. Yep, there we go. Alright, so that'll do us good on gunpowder. That's an extra 2 shulker boxes worth. And then firework rockets. We'll go up into the sugarcane farm. Go get some sugarcane. That's where all that ended up, huh? Alright, let's see here. Here we are. There we go. Alright. Covers us on paper and firework rockets. Rather, gunpowder. We'll leave a shulker box of each in here. Gunpowder, paper, actual gunpowder. 7 stacks. There we go. Look how quick and easy that was now that we've actually got everything all laid out nice and pretty. It's good stuff. There we go. Buckets, paper, gunpowder. Nice. Okay, so we will go ahead and run these down into our base. We'll just dump the gunpowder into there. Paper can go into there. We'll consolidate. Actually, yeah, we'll take the time. Consolidate everything. That way we can get a couple more extra blocks. And then we also want to get some slime blocks too. That's something else we can grab. Right. There we go. That way there. And we wanted some doors too, so let's go to those bamboo planks that we have. Be up here. Here we are. Let's see, bamboo planks. And that'll make 6 stacks of doors, that's good. Those out. That can come with me, that comes with me. It goes in there. Okay, so you've got a good bit of stuff here. Shouldn't have nothing to worry about. We've got a nice empty box. Just in case, well not just in case, we'll need it for like prismarine and getting a hold of some prismarine, some sea lanterns, obviously our sponges and whatnot, those will be a big thing too. We'll grab one more empty box because I basically just want like a separate box just for sponges and then a separate box for all the other ocean stuff that we end up getting, so that should be pretty good. Right now, all we gotta do is head on over to our cow pen. Right on over here. Milking it so good right now. There we go. We'll save the rest of the buckets there. There we go. Alright. Let's see here. Seem to not have documented one somehow. Weird. Aquifer Ancient City. That's right, that was the second one that I had found. Okay, well, let's think here. Where do we want to go? We want to go... I guess we could just go positive X, you know, going back towards 0, 0, because that'll be chunks that I should have loaded already, as to make sure that we preserve the integrity for future updates, right? Important to do, you know? And, yeah, we'll just kind of go fly. So, out into the world we go. We've got our shulker box full of enchanted elytras and firework rockets, and food, so we can journey forever, basically. Of course, we got our hoe, too. Oh, excuse me. Got our hoe as well, so we can get all those sponges pretty quick. We're mainly looking for sponge rooms, you know. I do hope we get some sponge rooms. They tend to be kind of rare, so we will probably end up scouring the world for a long time looking for some, but I'd like to imagine that we could get some fairly quickly, you know. Shouldn't take a billion years to get some of this stuff going, right? Oh, we've had a jungle just chilling out here 2,000 blocks away from our... We've had a mangrove forest this close this whole damn time? Are you serious? Oh, wow. That would have been nice to know. Also, damn, it is a little laggy. Alright, well... let's see where we're at. We're at negative 22, 110. 100, rather. Negative 10, 48. That is pretty close to our base and quite nice. And let's maybe, we'll turn down simulation distance a bit. We'll turn down render distance a little bit. Surprised we found this, honestly. Hey, if we're lucky, we could find a witch farm out in here. That would be very ideal. Let's take a little second to see if we can find one. Oh, there we are. If we can find a witch farm, by the way. I totally said if we can find a witch farm. I meant witch hut. You know what the hell I meant, damn it. Okay. I am interested in building a witch hut or witch farm one of these days, so it's good to have this documented. Well, there we go. Ah, we got an ocean here. Bunch of turtles too, oddly enough. Some nautilus as well. Sleep in here a little bit. I want to see if I can get some shells out of these guys. It's supposed to be a fairly rare chance, like it's only a 8.5% chance with looting 3. So I'm not really holding my breath on it, but it could be nice just to get an extra one here and there. If that ever happens, that is. Something tells me that's not going to be the case for a while. Alright, let's see what we've got out here. Beautiful. Really, really beautiful. Oh, that's nice. I will actually take that. Okay, and they're doing the Bedrock Edition map update on the Java soon, so that'll be nice. So that way you can actually tell where you're going on a map a little bit easier. There we go. Coming up on it now. Great. Be somewhere here in this little land bridge. It'll be at 9-9. Oh, and since I took out chunk coordinates, we can't actually see what that is at the moment. Where did they move to? Oh, section relative. Here we are. Here we go. Good old 9-9 trick. And otherwise, we don't really care about the rest of this stuff. This is just kind of whatever. Oh, we'll put all that away. There we go. Alright, the X, I think. Or really, more specifically, we want to go out into the ocean. Oh, we've had a coral reef out here this whole time, too, that's been close by. Nice. That's very good. I've had a very hard time finding these in the past, so it's good to know that we actually have some stuff pretty close by. Alright, this is at negative 21,775, negative 662. Not bad. Oh, this counts as a desert, technically. Ooh, hang on. Another thing, and you know, we're already getting distracted very heavily already, but let's take a second here to grab ourselves one of our brushes. And I think you can guess why, because I'm kind of on the lookout for sniffer eggs. They are quite annoying to get a hold of. I don't frankly plan on using sniffers, like, ever. I think the plants that they give look cool, but they're so freaking niche that it's kind of annoying. Oh, and pufferfish, too. Oh, you're coming here, boy. This doesn't increase with looting, does it? Yeah, pufferfish are also something that are quite hard to get a hold of, and they're needed for nautilus breeding. If I could remember my words. Huh. It's not too common anymore. Ocean geode. Nice to see. But yeah, like I was saying about pufferfish, not too common, right? They You don't tend to see them too often. They're kind of weird, and they are needed for, well, excuse me, they're not needed for breeding, not a lie, they're needed for taming. You can breed them with any fish, but you have to tame them with pufferfish, which is a very important distinction because it's a lot less pufferfish than you think as long as you have like a solid initial breeding pair. Oh, we've had a mason nearby too? Weird. Alright. You're dead. Oh shoot, jackpot. Oh, these are just some of the random little tropical fish. It's a shame that looting doesn't work on them, but they're still nice to get a hold of. Alright, well, I'm not seeing any ocean monument. I'm not only not seeing an ocean monument, I'm also not seeing any of the ruins either. That was the phrase I was looking for. And it's specifically warm ocean ones, by the way, that have the chance of sniffer eggs and suspicious sand. So, fortunately, we do have to keep an eye out here. Now, interestingly, if there is truly an ocean monument, or not an ocean monument, if there is actually a ocean ruin that we can raid, we'll know actually pretty quickly, since drowned are guaranteed to spawn as part of the structure itself. So as long as we're somewhat close to it, we should be able to see it from up high, just because of the fact that we have hitboxes on. Although now we're starting to get into colder waters here, so who knows if that'll actually hold true for right now. It's also weird how much of a comparative dead zone this place is. You know, I'm not really seeing any structures of anything in any of this stuff. It's a bit lame, really. That is a big coral reef, though. I do like that. But yeah, also keeping an eye out for additional lighting is always a good sign too, because there could be sea lanterns in those structures as well, which give us a little bit more of a chance to see it. Oh, is that a... Yeah, it is. Okay, now the annoying thing is actually catching this guy. Hey, he's my little guy now. Nice. I have no leather. I don't have a saddle either. Okay, let's take a minute. I do have some leads, luckily. We'll have to come back with a proper... we'll have to come back properly at some point with some other stuff, but for now, let's just go ahead and tow this guy to shore. And we'll give him some copper Nautilus armor that we found, luckily. Yeah. So this will protect him during the daytime, which is good. And if we get really lucky and we find a second one, we can breed, I think we can breed zombie Nautilus together, so that'll be interesting. For now, though, let's just focus on getting this guy somewhere kind of safe. We'll take some of the fences off of that ship there. If we're lucky, there may be some iron in here, and then I can go kill some cows or whatever. So, we'll see what ends up happening. Put you there. Oh, good timing. We've never found these kinds of trims before, so that's good. Another buried treasure map. And, unfortunately, nothing else. Tough. Let's leash this guy, like, here. So, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna come back for him with a saddle later. Is it us or is? I forget. Who cares? We are specifically at negative 20, 40, 86, 41, 61. Excuse me, not 41. Negative 980. We will be back for him later. And we need to go north. We need to go northeast. And we need to keep an eye out for any additional birds. We still haven't seen yet, annoyingly. Let's see here, section relative. Here we are, right here. There we go. Hey, iron Nautilus armor and some iron ingots, good. Take that heart of the sea. And otherwise, like an iron sphere, we don't really care about that. Cool, okay. Good stuff. We can always come back with leather later, so we're not going to worry too much about it right this second. Oh, I will do, though. That goes in there. Well, don't think we're going to sleep for a little bit here. Alright, well, while it's nighttime, we may as well look to see if we can find any additional structures. I mean, there's got to be an ocean ruin somewhat close by, right? Like, surely we got to have something. I mean, I guess we don't have to, but, you know, you think you would see something at some point, right? Not to mention, we haven't even seen any ocean monuments as a whole either. They stick out a lot more too, obviously, since they're a lot bigger, but here's our guy. I'll leave the copper on him since it makes him more visible against like the grays and like the tans of the sand, you know. Iron's a little bit too weird colored for that, so still got to be on the eye. Still got to be in the eye out. But I just say, got to keep my eye out and got to keep a lookout, and put them both together in my head apparently. But we still got to keep a lookout for diamond Nautilus armor so we can make netherite Nautilus armor at some point. Just as the ultimate flex, because we can. That's the reason why anybody does anything, by the way, as a bit of a spoiler alert. You do anything you want because you can, okay? Even if it's objectively a waste of netherite and it's stupid and dumb, it still is cool and it's something to do, you know? Yeah, alright, well, I guess we'll settle in for the night here. Go ahead and pop down our bed. There we go. It's currently 2:06 in the afternoon today. How nice. Well, let's go ahead and head on out into the world again. Let's see what else we got. That looks suspiciously structure shaped. That was a piece of coral that looked really weird. Okay. Well, can't say I didn't check, you know? And that's okay. We are unfortunately running out of ocean, which makes life a little bit harder. That's a camel, I'm guessing, right? Yeah. Camels drop leather? As barbaric as that is, I'm pretty sure they do. Yeah, I'll leave him be. He is but a little guy, for he knows not what he has done. Interestingly enough, we may be able to find a suitable river for a drowned farm out in this area, since it's in like a deserty mesa kind of area. So we'll kind of take note of that mentally. Well, not mentally, we have it written down close enough with the coordinates log that we should be able to find it again, should the need arise. But, you know, hopefully that never ends up being the case. I would like to imagine that I could just get tridents just by sheer luck, um, naturally as it was intended, but unfortunately, with how this game is, with it spawning being so cruel sometimes, I may just have better luck just, setting up an infinite water source and then just letting it drain, and then, hopefully I get some good natural spawns. Be a good way to get some more Nautilus shells too, but it's mainly tridents that we would be after. You're nothing special, you don't even got a trident. You were just all on your lonesome type or something cool. Cooler than you were. Now we're getting into cold ocean stuff, so we're not going to really see any of those ruins that we're actually looking for. No, actually it's back to warm ocean. Guess it was just a little rough spot. That looks suspiciously square. That was just terrain. Okay. Can we find anything in the ocean at all? Yes. A shipwreck that I don't really care too much about, but we'll still look into anyways, because it's still a shipwreck. There be buried treasure in these things, you know? And, of course we got some extra Nautilus armor. Alright, let's see here. East and north again. Oh yeah, the map item textures are getting redone, which will be very interesting to see. Boop. We need to go more north, don't we? And it's right here. There we go. Alright, got a couple of diamonds, Heart of the Sea. Nice stuff, I guess. Didn't really do a lot for me. Go. Alright, and back to traveling through the ocean. Anything at all that we can see. Oh, hang on. These look kind of ruin shaped. And I'm seeing some drowned. Alright. So, these are the kinds of runes that we want to see, because these are the ones that have the correct type of suspicious block. Specifically, suspicious sand is what has the chance of having sniffer eggs. We're also just going to kill all these guys for the hell of it. Why not? Didn't drop anything useful, but I thought that counts. We're mainly here for the sniffer eggs. I guess sherds are kind of okay. I don't really give a rat's ass about sherds if I can be completely real, but, thought that counts. Ooh, wow, an emerald. Ooh. And again, these are not good rewards for this kind of stuff because I'm late game. That's the key distinction here, right? And that's something, too, I feel like a lot of the game ends up missing after a certain point. Or a lot of people end up not thinking on. I think that's an egg. Yeah, there it is. Well, that's quite lucky. Let's see if we can get one more out of all this. But I do feel like that is something that a lot of people tend to misinterpret with a lot of this stuff, right? Is it's not necessarily about having the most broken loot and a lot of these kinds of things, because you have to think about the game as a whole, right? And when you do that, you truly get to appreciate how some of this stuff ends up all working together. Like trial chambers, for example, if you can actually find one of those things fairly early, they actually do pose a legitimately nice challenge, and they're also fun to do with other people. Like they hit a very, very perfect, like genuinely perfect balance in like that kind of sense. But late game, they're kind of whatever. You only go to them for the mace, and then they turn into just like boring grinds where you're only looking forward to one, maybe two items, right? You're looking forward to. Did I get another one? Well, damn, there's lucky. Nice. We're done here. But it turns into like a very boring kind of slog, right? Like where you're just looking for like a trident, or you're looking for the mace, or that's really it, honestly. That's all you really have to look forward to is one of those two items, super late game and a trial chamber. Copper itself is nice, but in terms of actual things that are just there, that's kind of it. But you get to that thing at the correct time, you get to it early enough, and now all of a sudden you get some nice armor, you get some nice tools out of it, you can just explore the world for some solid gear instead of having to like go out and mine a bunch of it yourself, and there still is value and merit in mining it yourself as well, but it's nice to have additional options that are more rewarding. Mining can be fun. Let me rephrase that. Mining is specifically relaxing and it can be fun if you happen into the right kind of cave, you know. If you don't, it's not very fun at all, right? It's pretty boring. You're just kind of there, you're along for the ride, and it's just kind of whatever. But you get the right situation to happen, and you are in a pretty interesting spot. All right, okay, we need to go do this. All right, let's see where we headed. North and west. This is the one I already found, wasn't it? It certainly seems to be the case. Yeah, it is. That's unlucky. But I don't know. They hit a pretty good balance. It's one of those things where, like, if a big enough update comes out, I super duper recommend just like starting a new world and going to go check it out, and or at least doing something that neuters yourself in a way that like you can actually enjoy the new features in a context they were intended for. That's another big thing. It's context, right? Context is always a very, very important word with a lot of these kinds of updates. There's a context for things to be used and discovered in, and when you discover them outside of that context or use them out of that context, it can be interesting and novel, but if it's something like the trial chamber where the context is that you're supposed to be like early to mid game with no gear or like copper or iron armor and basic tools, then like, you're in the wrong context if you're not in that context. And it trivializes the trial chamber as a result. So, if you really do take the time to be in that correct context, things end up working out a lot better. And it's a lot neater. I don't know. I'm rambling again, I know, but it's just stuff to talk about. But there is genuine merit, big picture, for a lot of the things that they had. They still need to give certain things more uses or more features, like the sniffers. These fucking guys. They're here to be here. I'm only getting them because I have to get them, because I might as well since I'm in the area, right? But otherwise, I don't give a shit about the flowers that they give. They're kind of whatever. I wish that them digging up those flowers. I wished after you got a hold of the flowers that they were a little bit more renewable after the fact, but not really, I think. So, like, they have to dig up the seeds each time you want to get that kind of flower, so it can be kind of tedious to actually get them in bulk, unfortunately, which I don't like, but, you know, they are objectively cool mobs, though. It is just a shame that they are a bit squandered by comparison. Also a shame that I just cannot seem to get freaking anything here. Also, we're gonna switch these out finally. I think we're overdue for this. We're gonna have our firework box and not our healing potion box in our inventory this time around. That's how you know I really lost the plot with it. I call it my healing box and not like my potion making box. So the whole idea of that box specifically was it was supposed to be like a portable potion brewing kit that I could use. And naturally, I do not use it for that at all. But, it's fine. We need more ocean out in the world. No positive X. Kind of an interesting area out here. It's about 10,000 blocks away from our actual base. That is a sad, sad little road or snowy slopes. Probably snowy slopes. Nitro's still doing good on durability. Alright, we got another ocean. Have we got an ocean monument? I'm just surprised we haven't seen any yet, frankly. I know I've seen them out in the world before too, so I know that's not even like the issue. It's just I've been getting brutally unlucky, you know. Been having a lot of dry patches where nothing's existed at all, and it's quite frustrating. But oh, I just had to bitch about it. All right, uh, this is where we get everything ready. So we're gonna drop in from above. The name of the game is Speed. All right. I think we got the trim from it too, so good stuff. And we are after 2 more Elder Guardians. We'll have time to explore this stuff later, but we need to find all the Elder Guardians first. Alright, there's one more. He's probably on the walls or something. Uh-oh, that's outdoors. Elder Guardian bones. Shit, thought I could do it in time. Oh dang. Get out of here. We'll drink milk after we find this last Elder Guardian. I know we're drowning, but it's really slow. Dude, come on. Fuck it. There we go. Gotta be in and around here, right? Wow, these guys hurt even with protection. I think their beams do go through protection, if I'm not mistaken. They wouldn't be particularly aware of that. Still looking for this last stupid son of a bitch. Okay, well, we just made it back into the top room again. There we go. Back up to full breath. I know it's a little scummy, but hey, if it works, it works, you know. Alright, we're going in circles here a bit. This is just the same room I was already going to be in. I know I was close to it at some point, because the subtitles had Elder Guardian bones in it. So, main entrance. It's probably in the back of it, right? I had to guess. Oh, there he is. I see his big ass tail. He's dead. Nice. go. Okay, hang on. Just do that for right now and give us a little bit of breathing room. Alright, let's do something like that. Okay. So this is the main idea for our inventory. We're just gonna have a stack of doors and a stack of slab blocks on us. Make our own air, make our own cover, all that kind of good stuff. Should be good. And then once we inevitably kill all the outer guardians, we can then drink the milk bucket, and then we will be good. So yeah, take some time to again grab some of this stuff since it's, you know, a little valuable. It's gold. Don't need a whole lot of it on account of our gold farm existing, but it is still nice. We just loot. Great. Another thing I should note too that I found out some years ago. Apparently, the sponge rooms only exist upwards. So you basically can't enter them top down. You have to go bottom up because of how the rooms are structured. Shit. I don't think I want to be here. There we go. And yeah, this might not be a sponge room one. This is also where using chunk base would be a more convenient solution, unfortunately, which is very sad because there is some joy in just going out and finding things, but when not all of them are guaranteed to have sponge rooms, it can be kind of bad. So it can be a little frustrating, but, you know, can be worth it. Alright, well, we got that one already. Oh, swag, another one. Perfect. Coming in hot, but now we got this. Oh, if that one got to me earlier than I would have liked. Oh, cod. You're telling me that was the first time I ever got raw cod? Are you serious? Alright, well, we got two more. One more after this guy. There we go. There we go. Break into that yet. I'm going in circles here. Still going in circles like some kind of dumbass. I just looped back around on my door that I already placed. Alright, well, we definitely are not in the right spot to go find that last Elder Guardian. Let's go down further. Yeah, yeah. Elder Guardian moans. We should be getting close. Get in. There he is. I need to remember to break line of sight a little bit. Don't want to underestimate Guardians even in full netherite, because they are extra annoying with those beams, and it does add up quickly, so... Alright, well, all of them are dead. I also haven't located a sponge room or anything either, unfortunately. Oh, that's a shame. Thunder, cool. Okay, yep, still not seeing a sponge room out here or nothing. We'll start breaking through this structure now that we got rid of all those other Guardians. I don't really plan on saving any for like mining fatigue or anything like that. You know, I know How Did We Get Here is a thing that exists, but I've had my fill of it years ago, so I never want to do it again, frankly. Damn. Hope I don't keep getting unlucky. It's supposed to be like a 50-50 around sponge rooms, or it's supposed to be fairly common. It's not guaranteed, but you shouldn't be struggling forever to like go do it, you know? We'll fly through the night. It should be fairly easy to see one because of the lighting that they tend to have, so... Case in point. We have our third one here. Died. Rude. Rude. Should be fairly close to another Elder Guardian. We've only killed the one so far, so... Here we are. Also helps when they choose not to put up too much of a fight, but... Still... Alright, one more out in the world somewhere. Again, dang. Well, shoot. We keep looping between, like, the same set of rooms at this rate. this is the main room. I guess I could at least hold out my my Elytra, try and give this thing some durability back. Uh-oh. Nope, I'm good. I'll have one more Elder Guardian in. Nope. Gotta be out this direction. Be at the back of it here. There it is. Finally. There we go. Nice. Great. I gotta find at least one sponge room out of all this, surely, you know? Get the hell out of here. I'm not seeing anything again, man. Right. I don't know, I don't think it's happening at this rate. That's certainly not looking good. Well, damn. Nothing again. What a shame. Let's go north. No, let's go east. Positive X. Alright, well, that's 3 ocean monuments so far. Just one sponge room, you know? That's all I'm really looking for, honestly. Just one. I also think we got the trim, I'm pretty sure. So we can see. That was weird. Saw snow for a second there. I wasn't even that high up. Oh, yeah, back over dry land. Well, dang. Our main thing with this, by the way, is we're basically just going to be flying out to like 0, 0, looting anything we see along the way, and then eventually we will be at World Spawn. We'll be able to take the Nether portal system back to our base, and then that will just kind of be it, unfortunately. Bit anticlimactic, but kind of how it is. Of course, we're still trying to stick it with the ocean a little bit here, since we're on the lookout for ocean monuments, but since it's more of an inland sea, it's not going to have any, unless it billows out to a larger one. Still not seeing anything, though. Back we go, towards 0, 0, 10,000 blocks away, and our journey will end at some point. We gotta find at least one sponge room, right? I mean, there's gotta be something out there. This little village there. Alright, another ocean. Let's take a look around. Not looking good though, again. Aye, 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 man. It's just not cool. What the hell am I doing? We have cartographers that sell ocean monument maps. And I bought some from them too when I was leveling them up. Why don't I just do that? We'll save that for next time. If we can't find any today, we'll give that another try. I'm just so used to looking for in the old-fashioned way. I guess I didn't really think about it till now, but yeah, that would have been a much smarter idea. Alright, an ocean this big, you gotta have one, right? Surely? No? Nothing? Can't throw me a bone here? Nope, not at all. Well, damn. Oh, here we go. Come on now. Don't want to be stuck here. Yeah, okay. Have I gotten the trim from these guys yet? I mentioned that because I think I've got it here. Here we go. Oh, that's lucky. Oh, now we definitely have, which is very good, so... Hey, there we go. Perfect. Finally, we know there's a sponge room, singular. There's at least one. It's good, because at least it's something. Dude, come on, hit him. Gotta watch our health here. We're doing kind of weird. Alright, well that's 2 down. And we have a sponge room, so that's good. One more guardian. One more elder guardian. That's him. That's him. That tail. He died. Okay, okay, I get it. Alright. I think this is a different sponge room. Yeah. Cool thing, that goes there. Alright, nice. Yep, see, this was a different one. Good. Right, let's go see if we can't go get some more. I have a feeling it's just going to be those two for what it's worth, but we will find out soon enough. No, third one. Nice. Alright, that is just what we want to see. That makes up for all the other ones that were duds, at least, so that's good. I think 3 is where we peak, unfortunately. I had to guess. Yeah, that would be my guess. Alright, we can't delete our life, we gotta get out of here. Okay, that hurt. Not liking that. Oh, we made it out at least. That's good. Got the double tapped there, but that's fine. So we got about a stack and a half there of wet sponges, so pretty solid. The end goal one day is to get a full shulker box's worth of sponges. Whether or not that will actually happen, completely different story. Even in my other hardcore world where I truly like sat there and I grinded for them, I think I only got to like half a shulker's worth. So it just takes a lot of time, and especially if you're not using chunk base, it takes more time. So a bit of a shame, but I get it, you know. Name of the game. Grand Dripstone Cave. Oh, there's some more calcite. Nice. Not a lot, but enough for me to want to break this down after we go ahead and sleep real quick. It knocked me out, yeah. Classic. Okay. Go write this down. Stony Peak. That is negative 42999191. Nice. Oh, back out we go into the world. Got another ocean here. This will be another small one. A little jungle biome though with a stony shore. It's quite interesting. I like the look of it. Be a cool little pirate town. I wouldn't build something this far out though. There's a limit to it, you know. It would probably have to be more of like a line of structures is like checkpoints. So thinking in terms of like a line from 0, 0 all the way to our actual base, you could build like towns and ports and things like that along the way. But I wouldn't want to just build one completely like disconnected out in the middle of nowhere unless it's explicitly for like a farm. In which case, yeah, I mean like you kinda have to, you know. And you can connect up to that, but if we're just building it for a farm, then you know, kind of the big thing. Alright, here we are again. There we go. I didn't get the sponge from him. Where's the sponge? There it is. Alright, we have 2 more to kill. Right. Yep, there it is. Tough. There's one. Second one. Ooh. Weird area I don't want to be a part of. Let's get the hell out of here. Looping back in here. This should branch out into a proper rooms. Keep looping. Crap. Not good. If I had brought redstone blocks and TNT, I could have also broken out of these a lot quicker. That's okay. I don't want to use my milk yet since I haven't found the last Elder Guarding it. Guess it didn't really matter. Luckily I can still break through it in a somewhat reasonable amount of time. Just don't want to do that too often. Nope. Not good. Crap. That's no good. Gotta be over here somewhere. Fuck, I'm just back here again. No, that's not where I want to be. I can't see anything here. I kind of don't even want to bind here. Last guy, I keep looping into this room by accident. Last guy, where art thou? Maybe I can see him from the outside better since he's got a giant freaking tail, you know? That looked a little suspicious. Be broken any minute now. There he is. Nice. Good. Pretty. That'll probably be our last ocean monument for today, unless we find another one. Not very fruitful, unfortunately. Goes outside. That goes outside. Very nice and cool. We are near the very tippy top of this whole thing. Not where we want to be. Especially if we're looking for sponges, you know. Don't exactly remember seeing a sponge room down in here. Yep, certainly not looking like it. Well, it's tough. Yeah. Alright, let's get the hell out of here. Okay. I think we have another one. Oh, that's not good. That's not normally how we get to do these. Okay, well, I guess we get to do these the correct way. That's not normal. Guess I had a bad cycle there. Damn. I may need to break in with the door. That's what it's looking like. Why? Here's a dungeon you can get and you're historically encouraged to not, like, mine, but we're gonna give it to you in such a way where you have to mine. It's like, really? Yeah. Whatever. Alright. We'll get it one day. Probably just pop down a milk bucket, to be perfectly honest. Alright, I'm doing it. I'm popping down a milk bucket. Yep. Lesson learned. Fuck you. You went out of your way to fucking swim towards me. And for what? To be a dickhead? Jackass. You fucking guy, man. Oh my god. These guys are annoying as hell. Get out of here. Stupid ass fucking piece of shit. Bring a couple extra. Alright, third time's a charm. Let's just break in. It's gotta be around here somewhere. Alright, let's try and break into the top part again. Get your ass for that. You pissed me off, man. You're gonna pay for all that. I'm gonna waste all that milk. Fuck off! Whatever. Here we are, here's another one. Makes number 2. Gotta commit to it. Alright, we got our second sponge. Good. Stupid ass bastard. Alright. I just looped. Great. See if we can find it from outside. Yeah, I don't think so. Oh, lucky. Good. Alright, nice. All of them are dead. And now we get to go take our gold and our sponges and get the hell out of here. Nope. And ocean monuments are just kind of annoying. Well, we've gotten a decent little chunk of sponges and gold at least, if nothing else, so I guess we can't really complain too hard about that. What are we doing on Prismarine? We're doing okay. I mean, we've gotten a little bit. Not something I'm particularly going out of my way for, I guess, but it's fine. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Okay. I don't think there's any sponge frames in here. I feel like we would have seen one by now. Let's get out of here. What's a geode there? Cool. Very cool. I think it's an ocean ruin. It is, just barely poking up out of the ground. How neat. We are about 1,500 blocks away. We've only found one ocean monument with a sponge room. Granted, it had 3 sponge rooms, so it actually was pretty solid, but still, got to just find more sponge rooms. Can't just keep killing the Elder Guardians forever, you know? But honestly, with the amount of sponges we have currently, it's really not too bad of an amount. Like, this is more than usable for actually clearing out large bodies of water, so I don't mind it. But I still do want to get more eventually. Alright, we should be here at our nether portal. Perfect. So we made it back home. There are a bunch of Endermen here because they keep wandering in through the end portal. Never mind all that. Okay, boat, there we go. And out we go. So we've got about 3,000 blocks to fly out here, or rather the boat out. Just see what happens. So yeah, good stuff. I have got to go get lunch after this. I am pretty freaking hungry, so not good. All in all, I'd say it was pretty good today. You know, we got the rest of that storage area all done, reorganized some stuff, got some extra sponges, and more gold's always cool, but we don't really need this gold for anything since we have the gold farm. So next time we will use the we'll actually use the Ocean Explorer maps that we got from the cartographers to try and find some better ocean monuments. Give that a try, and then we'll just kind of see what happens. So yeah. Oh, and sniffer eggs and nautilus. And that zombie nautilus. Can't forget about any of those. I have to work on bringing that guy back eventually. It'll be kind of a pain since I'll have to take him out of water. That stuff takes time to travel with, but it will be fun. And we're back. So we'll go ahead and walk into here. See how much darker it's gotten. Well, actually, this wouldn't have been influenced by it anyways. Since there wasn't any glass there for a while. But yeah, all in all, pretty good stuff. Feel like we got a lot done. Next time we'll actually take the time to organize everything, but I do not care right now. We're just going to go ahead and sleep all this off, and we will be back another day to do some more. But yep, with that being said, thank you all for watching, and I hope to see y'all again soon. Bye-bye!